Hello, everybody. Great to be with you again. My name is Fred Davis. I'm with AwakeningClarityNow.com. And I want to talk to you today about something that I see quite a bit of in my private teaching practice and that I suffered from for a number of years in early awakening. And I want to see if perhaps I can clear you up a little bit today. Who knows? Let's try. So what I want to talk about is our addiction to awakening. And when I say it in this regard, I don't mean the seeker's flu. I don't mean that, oh God, I just got to wake up, I got to read this book, I got to do this practice, I got to go to that, whatever. There's nothing we can do to help you with that. You just got to go through that yourself and either wake up or die. So good luck. What I'm talking about when I'm talking about the addiction to awakening is the addiction to awakening in post-awakening. How about that? We thought we were just going to wake up one time and that was going to be it. We just all figured that we would probably go from being completely cloudy to being totally awake in one click. Isn't that right? I mean, that's what I really thought. I mean, when I woke up, the instant I woke up, I thought, well, I guess it's time to teach. I swear to you I did. But at any rate, I found out, it actually turned out to be a number of years before I thought. So I had a time to give that idea a second look. But what I want to talk about is once we've woken up, what our tendency is to move back into misidentification, meaning identifying as the body instead of the vastness, or that which is both, if you even better. So when we do that, what that does is that when we suffer, oh my God, if I could just get back to that brightness, I get back, I lost something precious. One of my clients said it's worse than losing your house or your car or anything, and he's right. It's just can be terrible. The brighter we are, the worse that is. But what I want to tell you is that the secret payoff, it's like any addiction. Have you noticed that all addictions have a lot of pain attached to them? And that includes the addiction to awakening. Because what happens is we wake up, it's blissful. I mean, not for everybody, but for many of us, it's just such a wonderful surprise, is it not? If you've been there yourself, you come out of the dream and it's like, oh my God, oh, how could I have ever missed this? This is the most obvious thing in the world. I'll never be able to miss it again. And then we find out that we do. And when we do, when we move into misidentification, we now have the perfect setup for a drug. It's just, boom, I need another hit. Which is that the second time that we wake up, if you will, the second time that we have a real good shot of the truth, whether it lasts 2 minutes or 2 days or 10 days, it doesn't make any difference, or however long. Once we go back to sleep, we get the private joy of waking back up. We get to see, oh boy, I'm really it. I see it's already here and everything all over again. Do you see that? We get that thrill all over again. We get that bliss all over again. And that's wonderful, except for the fact that we have to go to sleep to get that. And what we're doing is we're declaring, I don't care a thing about enlightenment. What I want is a spiritual experience within my dream. We're right back to just trying to dream better. We don't see it, but that's the truth. So I had a guy recently in my practice, and I had woken him up about 10 days before we had the clarity session. In other words, I had just barely woken the guy up, and he got back on email and said, I want to have a clarity session with you. And that's usually a very good sign. It means somebody that's there, and it was a good sign this time. But I just mean that it's not necessarily a sign that there's great confusion. But in this case, I could tell from the email that there was a fair amount of confusion. Because he seemed, actually, what he was reporting on to me about what he was experiencing was he was experiencing awakeness, but he was declaring that he was not awake. Didn't think he'd woken up in his, or had some reservations about whether he'd actually woken up in his session or not. And this happens. So there's a denial process there sometimes that we just have to see through. But in this case, what happened was I talked to this guy a little bit, and when we were talking live, he was still reporting from awakeness. Looked to me, and so it dawned on me what was going on. And so I thought, well, what he needs is a real fresh dose. That's what he really needs. He needs a fresh fix of awakening. So and ever trying to be ever reasonable and and pleasant teacher. I decided to give him that. So I got this little thing I do, usually brings people who have woken up back fairly quickly, and it did him. But the instant that he came back, he went, "Oh, there it is again. Now it's back." And I saw exactly what had happened. And I said, "Stop, just look at that right there." I said, "There's your issue." Because this guy had been awake prior to my having woken him up the first time. He'd been awake quite brightly for quite a while. Some years back, had moved out of it and stayed out of it. And then he talked to me, and he came back to that bright awakening. And that was very thrilling for him. And then about a week later, he needed another dose. Do you understand an addiction when you see one? I do. I was a practicing alcoholic for 25 years. I understand all about craving and payoff and pain, because this guy's pain was that he was separated from his true self, quote, separated from his true self. His payoff was the fact that because he was separated from his true self, he got to get it again. He got to join his true self again. This is all malarkey, but it's just the way that the mind would process it. So I just pointed out the fact that he needed to see that, because that's all we can really do. It's not like we can stop ourselves from doing something like that. All we can do is see it. And my guess is that I would help him see this more clearly than he had ever seen it, if he'd ever seen it at all, which was that his addiction was to that event. That it was the spiritual experience, and his wasn't even a big one, but it was still that bliss. It was still that joy. We're addicted to that joy. So I helped him see through it. He woke up really well. We partied. I don't know how he's doing now. Who knows? I hope fine. So watch your addiction. Just notice it. If you're in misidentification now, watch when you come out. Just try to watch when you come out and notice that what you're going for is the hit, is for the drug. And if you're in awakeness right now, if you're in brightness as I speak to you, then kind of make a little note of this, and be willing to just live with what you have where you are. In other words, don't be craving more, because the instant that you're craving more, who's craving it? You. Ego is craving it. And so you're right back on the thing. So instead of looking for the better arising that I used to have, damn it, where is it? How about getting used to right now? It's all you got anyway, right here, right now. And it's quite enough. I promise you it's quite enough once you allow it to be enough. So good luck. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.